Good afternoon and welcome to Wednesday's Word of Encouragement. Today, I actually want to talk to you about words a little bit. In the church, we are always accused of using church words that other people outside of the church may not understand or know what they mean. Very common. I understand that. I get that. Every business, every institution, everybody has different acronyms they use, different slogans or whatever, different words that are used that nobody else understands. And so that's normal. But we also sometimes, even right now, especially during this Christmas season, use words that maybe we don't even understand what they mean. We use words like Christmas. And for us, it's December 25th. It's a day off. It's a day we get together and celebrate the birth of Christ, most of us. Others, it's just a day we get together with family and exchange gifts, things like that, put the Christmas tree up, whatever. Some of it is very religious. Some of it is not very religious. But December the 25th was set aside back in 1050 A.D. in England. They decided to have a Christ Mass. A Mass for the birth of Christ. And so they had a Christ Mass. Well, that actually got shortened to Christmas. So that's the true origin of the word Christmas, is Christ Mass. And so as you get together this year, talk about that a little bit. You might find it interesting to see who else knows that. What about the word nativity? Well, whenever I think of nativity, I think of the little plastic thing that we had around the house, or maybe even the huge ceramic ones that I see, or even the enormous ones, or the live nativity scenes where there's Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus, and then you've got the shepherds and the goats and the cows and things like that all gathered together in the stable. And so in my mind as a child, I always thought the word nativity meant that it was the stables, that's what we were talking about, where it was all together, that it had to be that. But really, nativity is the word means birth, unless the N is capitalized. And if the N is capitalized on nativity, I guess except for being the first of the word of a sentence, it literally means the birth of Christ. So if you're reading a sentence and it says, and concerning the nativity, and it's a little n, it would be the birth of somebody. But if it's a big N, it means the birth of Christ. So a little bit of distinction there, and that actually is a French word, nativity. And it also can be used as a synonym for Christmas. As they celebrate the nativity, they're celebrating Christmas. There's also the word manger. We have a manger here in the church. And I love this one. It comes from the word in Latin, mandicure. Now, mandicure, which literally means to chew. It's a place where the horses and the cows got together and chewed their food. It was a place where they threw in the hay or the straw or the grain or whatever, and the cow and the horse and things like that in the barnyard ate out of the manger. Now, we were in Israel not too long ago, and we saw a huge one hewn out of stone. It was about 2 or 3 feet high, and it was kind of hollowed out at the top, and that was a true manger. And there are several of them actually in this place that we were at, and so they were saying these are mangers, and these are probably exactly what Jesus was laid in. Some of them were taller for the horses, some of them were shorter for the sheep or the goats or whatever. And so it was for the different heights and things like this. And so the manger was just simply something that Mary had use of right there in that stable. And she probably cleaned it out, put some fresh, I'm sure Joseph did. Mary probably didn't. Made her husband do it. Cleaned that out, put the fresh hay in there or whatever, maybe put in some cloth or maybe put in some clothing even or whatever, to literally just keep Jesus off of the cold floor and away from the manure in the area. And so it was just a simple place where the feeding trough. But at this time of the year, you may also hear a word called Emmanuel. We use this as a synonym for Jesus a lot of times. We sing about it, we say it and things like that. But literally, Emmanuel comes from Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14, when Jesus is prophesied to be coming about. And so In Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14, it says, "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will be a child and will give birth to a son and will call him Emmanuel." And so when you look at that word right there, it's a name for Jesus. It's a name just as sometimes we see as well as Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Sitkanu, things like that, talking about an attribute or whatever. The word Emmanuel literally means God with us. And so it's talking about God, which through Christ comes to earth and lives among us and walks among us and survives, literally, and thrives as a human being. And so here is Emmanuel. When we say the word Emmanuel, we're talking about the incarnate or the life of Christ. And so I threw another one out there, incarnate. There you go. So it's literally just another name for Christ. Emmanuel means God with us, and it recognizes the fact that Jesus walked among us as a mortal person. Using the term Emmanuel reminds us that Jesus is able to sympathize with us in all of our weaknesses, because he has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he was without sin, according to Hebrews chapter 4, verse 15. So you may face some type of troubles, you may face difficulties, but know that Jesus has already gone through that, and he is with you, and he understands what you're going through. And so because we have had the Emmanuel, we've had the Christ with us, we can, at this time of the year and any time of the year, worship Christ because we know that he has gone through it before us. I hope this has helped you a little bit, maybe to know a few extra words. There's a lot more out there we use, and I thought about putting them. I may put them online, so check back later. But I want to encourage you to come out on Sunday as we wrap up our Christmas series at 11 o'clock, and with Pastor Amy preaching this week. And then on Christmas Eve at 4 o'clock to join us in person here and or online. But we would love to have you here as well on Christmas Eve as I bring the Christmas message. And we thank you so much for this time with us. And we hope God will bless you this day. Have a wonderful day.